Hey guys, Al Lewison.
Cam McClellan.
Welcome to today's Wealth What.
I want to talk today about buffers. Had a call recently from my little brother Andy, who works in the mining industry, and Andy's got a reasonable portfolio of property built up in Milana across a couple of different states. And the conversation usually comes up with Andy about every 6 months, and I've got to remind him about buffers. The reason being is working in the mining industry, it's a tough industry, fairly transient as far as the stability of jobs there. People can be one place the next time, somewhere else, different mines, and can be a fair amount of stints between jobs sometimes. So the usual conversation I have every 6 months with him, and this was a recent one this week, was about buffers and reminding him that if he hasn't got a job for 6 months, his property portfolio is not threatened whatsoever.
So there's a lot of parts to the whole property investment puzzle, and the more and more we talk about it and we talk to people about it, the more and more you realise how each little bit, and it's knowledge we've built up over 20 years, but each little part of it all adds into the one bigger picture. So to talk about buffers, we need to start by talking about how we begin our circle of duplication talk and how you use the equity in your own home to leverage and protect yourself from the banks and to not cross-collateralise, and the list goes on and on. But the same fundamental building block is used to cover your peace of mind. So what's your writing arm? Swap around, you can show it. Cool.
All right, so we'll do really quickly the basics of duplication, focusing on keeping a buffer there. So let's say we buy
Your own home?
your own home. So we've got deposit and costs, then we've got some debt. Once this property goes through a small
Can you
growth
see
cycle.
that?
Yeah, it's cool.
Keep going, I'll just go a different colour.
Terrible Texas. That's all right. Once we get some beautiful growth, it creates what we call equity. Now, as we know, equity is what we use for deposit and cost. How many deposits have you saved for in your lifetime?
One deposit.
One deposit myself. So all of our future deposits come from equity growth, and we use that equity to duplicate. But when we're duplicating, we always keep a buffer to hold whatever the property is. So let's say this is the investment property number 5, whatever it might be. So this is the investment property. Normally, you go to the banks, you go through full duplication, cross-collateralisation, or just keep the buffer?
No, I think we covered it before. So the key is you have equity growth, protect each property from the next one, is you draw a line there, you use the equity to pay your deposit for the next property.
So we set up a line of credit, and that might be, say 70k. We don't use the whole 70k for the deposit and cost for the next property. So you might use
And then 10 is a rainy day fund.
So that's right, exactly right. So you've got 10k sitting here. This 10k linked to this property in equity is a buffer there. Let's think about if a property costs you 20, 50, 100 bucks a week to hold. If you haven't got a job, and now I mean the difference between obviously what the rental income is and what your interest repayments and costs are, hold this property, whatever, say it's 100 bucks a week, 10 grand is going to last you a long time, chipping away before you actually have to put your money in yourself.
2 years.
There you go, 2 years. So, Eddie, you can sleep at night. We've been through this. We've been through it time and time again. You've got buffers set up, but probably a good thing for investors, make sure you've got buffers set up, because the old saying, cash is king.